This is Artist IQ. I go by the name of Ike Ellis. I wanted to appreciate you for stopping by the YouTube channel. We're going to talk about starting from the ground up. Starting from the ground up. Sometimes you got to build it from the ground up. Sometimes you can't start off at the top of the building. Sometimes you can't start off selling 1 million records. Sometimes you just got to get one fan to listen to what you got going on and build from there. Today, we wanted to talk about starting from the ground up. This is Artist IQ. Before we get into all of that, make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you press like. We just dropping content after content, and we're going to build it up from the ground up. It was just the perfect topic to talk about today because, you know, as artists, we don't know where to start from. The other day, a guy asked me, he said, man, I just want to know where to start, what to do. Where to go? How can I get my music? This, whatever it was, I'm like, look, man, I know exactly what to do. When you in the trenches, when you started from the ground up, sometimes the chips fall. Sometimes everybody counts you out. Sometimes you just got to sit in the corner and strategize until you figure out the plan that's going to work out for you. This is Artist IQ, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you press subscribe. Now, you got to think about it. You got to grow. You got to strategize. Time and time again, we want to start off from the top of the building. How? And nobody have heard your song before. The talent will take you only but so far. It's multiple facets to being an artist. It's multiple things that has to happen for that one song to work, let alone a whole album, a whole picture, a whole business. It's multiple things that has to happen. And today we're going to talk about starting from the ground up. You know, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment below. I promise I'm going to hit you back. I promise we're going to, you know, talk about these things on a weekly basis so we can be the best artists that we can be. So we can maintain the responsibility of giving our craft to the world. It's things that has to happen so we can give our craft to the world. Now, giving our craft to the world, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. Your brand has a story, right? So your story has to be creative, right? It has to be creative. Like, people has to pay attention. You got to be unique, stand out from what's going on in the rest of the world. But it also has to be compelling. Now, when I say compelling, I'm saying you have to connect with the emotions of the people that's going to support your brand. What is the reason? Tell me your reason somebody is going to connect with your brand. Why? Why would I participate with your music when I got all these other selections over here? That's like a person going to McDonald's, right? And they love McDonald's. And Burger King come on the same block, and Burger King say, I got a better burger. And that person been going to McDonald's for 12, 13, 15 years. They don't want to go to somewhere else. They don't want to try something else. But Burger King will have to help them understand why they have a better burger. As the artist, you have to help the consumer understand why you have the better music. Why should my music connect with this person? Why should my artwork connect with this person? You have to help them understand that. As the artist, this is your responsibility. It's nobody else's. It's nobody else's. Consumers, they on their day-to-day routine. They got kids to take care of. They got bills to pay. They got this, that, and the third to do. So why am I going to take time out of my day to pay attention to you as the artist? Help me understand that. Help me understand that. What would be so strong about your brand that a person wants to interrupt their day? What's so strong? What's so significant? What's so important that I would like to interrupt my day so I can listen to your music? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself as an artist. You have to help the consumer participate in your brand, participate in your story. Nobody got time to go through your story on the first day. You have to give it to them in pieces. Okay. When you starting from the ground up, you got to give it to them in pieces. But the key is give it to them in consistent pieces. Okay. If you give it to them 1 month and then 2 months, 3 months, 4 months pass by, they forgot about you. They on to the next start, right? They on to the next start. So as the artist, it's your responsibility to consistently give them a part of you. They can't digest the whole burger in the first hour. They got to take bits and pieces of your brand. They got to take bits and pieces of it. And this is from the ground up. Now check it out. From the ground up is a special time. It's a special time. It's a special time. You could be sitting there and nobody is paying attention to you. So all the mistakes that you think you're going to make, you can make them. So what? Make the mistakes. As long as you learn from them, it's okay. It's okay. I promise you, the best time, because it's like nobody is looking. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay? Nobody cares. And if they don't care, but you helping them care, then it's like, all right, I can pay attention to what they got going on now. And more people start to pay attention. That's when it's like, okay, I got to execute flawlessly. But in the beginning, starting from the ground up, this is a part of it. You start from scratch without the distractions. Save the distractions. Save the distractions from taking your focus away from where you're trying to go. It's distractions everywhere. Social media, girlfriends, partners who don't understand, family members who really ain't trying to support you. So what? It's okay. It's perfectly okay. They're not ready to invest in your brand yet. It's perfectly okay. You have to give them more and more and more and more and more. More and more on top of that. Then I'm ready to invest in your brand. Then I'm ready to pay attention to what you have to offer. But before then, the artists have to continue to consistently give parts of their brand. You got to give it to them. Listen, I think that's all the insight I have for this week. This is Artist IQ, and the job is to help them care about what you're doing. Okay? The next part is consistency. Consistency helping them care about what you're doing. Until next time, keep taking on the responsibility to create a masterpiece. This is Artist IQ. I go by the name of Ike Ellis. Be sure to press like. Be sure to press subscribe. Check me out. We on Instagram. We everywhere because we really want our artists to develop. We really want our artists to grow. We don't want you to get to that moment and you don't know what to do. It's a moment that you're preparing for, and we want you to be highly prepared. Okay, we want you to take it upon yourself to be responsible for your brand. Them labels, they don't care nothing about you. They're waiting on the next hot thing. They're waiting on the next hot thing, and that's okay. When you building your brand, you can be here forever. You can be here forever. Now, if you don't take care of that foundation, if you think that this trend is going to get you where you need to go and you ain't prepared for the rest of the stuff that come along with it, what you think is going to happen? You're going to fall flat on your face. And even falling flat on your face is good sometimes. It's good to fall flat on your face because you can actually bounce back from that. That determines how resilient you are inside of yourself. When you make that great big mistake and don't nobody care, that's how this shit supposed to go. This is Artist IQ, man. I could talk about this stuff all day. I appreciate you coming to the channel. Make sure you press like. Make sure you press subscribe. I'm out, baby. Let's go. It's the interlude, podcast in the YouTube, the genius in the sound underground where it's no rules. This the Artist IQ where we level up. Free freedom of the soul for a better us. From the heart, so it's all love. Around the world ain't no love, but it's all good. Cold shoulder, the heart warmer. You might catch me out in France, man, it's all normal. This a way of life. This the Artist IQ. Mic check 1, 2 with a little bit of EQ. Make it perfect. The entrepreneurs are still needed. Books still read it. The artists are still treated. Worse than ever, making it better. We talk freedom every day. Solve the problem together.